I would like to call this meeting of April 20th to order for the City of Westmount. And I understand from the City Clerk that no questions have been submitted for our question period. So I will move directly to l'adoption de l'ordre du jour avec Madame Bostock.
I move that the agenda of the regular council sitting of April 20th, 2020 be adopted.
Thank you. And do I have a seconder? Councillor Lulham. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And just to clarify, with the City Clerk, does a verbal aye or a show of hands suffice as a vote?
We are working with Zoom, but in the event that we have a technical difficulty and are unable to post that Zoom recording, it may be most prudent as a first round and with tonight's agendas items just to have we go around with as we have done in the past, but moving forward we'll hopefully be able to move towards just a visual experience. Okay,
perfect. Okay, all in favor. Councillor Bostock?
Aye.
Councillor Cutler?
Aye.
Councillor Shammy? You have to say aye. Councillor Gallery?
Aye.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Breschke?
Aye.
Councillor Lulham?
Aye.
Councillor Kez?
Aye.
Thank you. And the confirmation of the minutes, again, Councillor Bostock.
I move that the minutes of the regular council sitting held on April 6th, 2020 be approved.
Thank you. A seconder would be Councillor Gallery. All those in favor, Councillor Bostock?
Aye.
Councillor Cutler?
Aye.
Councillor Shammy?
Aye.
Councillor Peart?
Aye.
Councillor Breschke?
Aye.
Councillor Gallery?
Aye.
Councillor Lulham?
Aye.
Councillor Kez?
Aye.
Thank you. And reports to council. I guess typically we do the reports at the beginning. I just wanted to note that on behalf of council and the city, that all of our thoughts, our condolences are with the families and the victims that of the tragic massacre in Nova Scotia that happened yesterday. It is unthinkable, and there are no words to describe how difficult that must be for the families that are suffering. And our thoughts go out to the first responders and that community as well. And especially in this time, how difficult it would be to be grieving a family member. So on behalf of the City of Westmount, we certainly send our condolences to Nova Scotia. And beyond that, in terms of updates, the citizens will have seen many updates from us recently, a lot about how we're dealing with pedestrians, more to come, and then we'll see that roll out over the coming days. And we urge citizens to make sure that they're following all of our social media platforms and our website to get the most up-to-date information and to communicate with I think the easiest and most efficient way to communicate with your council members is via email, and that way you can be sure to get a response. So I think if there's anyone else who has an update, I think Councillor Breschke wanted to just discuss briefly Earth Day this week.
Yes, I just wanted to mention, well, Earth Day is coming this Wednesday. So since I mentioned at the last council meeting, I'll just say, please go on the websites and social media, and you'll learn more about how to engage in Earth Day. If I can just mention that today we'll be drafting, we'll be tabling the draft bylaw number 1556 concerning contract management. So Councillor Kez will be passing the motion, and I just wanted to highlight that the draft includes a mention of one of the city's guiding principles, which is to minimize negative environmental impacts. So this reflects council's consistent practice of viewing options of decisions through the lens of sustainability. So it's a welcome first addition of environmental sustainability principles in a contract management regulation or policy.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else, or we'll continue on with reports to council then? 5.1, correspondence. The following document is tabled. Resolution number CE 20-034 of the Communauté Métropolitaine de Montréal concerning a relaunch plan for public transit. 5.2, Councillor Bostock.
I move that the minutes of the general committee meeting of council held on March 16th, 2020 are tabled and are available on the city's website.
Thank you. Item number 6, Councillor Cutler, call for public tenders, asphalt resurfacing and sidewalk reconstruction, Dorchester Boulevard westbound between Atwater Avenue and Green Avenue.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to authorize an expenditure in the amount of $715,962.26, including tax credits for the asphalt resurfacing and sidewalk reconstruction, Dorchester Boulevard westbound between Atwater Avenue and Green Avenue, tender number PUB 2020-009, and to award Les Entreprises de Construction Ventec Inc. the contract for this purpose at its bid price for a maximum amount of $784,072.01, including taxes, the whole in conformity with the contractual documents of the call for tenders PUB 2020-009, and to allocate this expenditure in accordance with the financial information included in the decision-making file number 2020-0947.
Thank you, and I'm sure Councillor Kez would like to second that as the councillor for the district. Any further comments on this, Councillor Cutler?
Yeah, so this road was last reconstructed in 1964, so it's had a pretty good run. As many of you are probably aware, the road is in very, very poor condition. And so we're going to be resurfacing the roadway, reconstruction of sidewalks, as well redoing or repairing 6 of the Hydro Westmount chambers.
Thank you. All in favor? Councillor Bostock?
Aye.
Councillor Cutler?
Aye.
Councillor Shammy?
Aye.
Councillor Peart?
Aye.
Councillor Breshke?
Aye.
Councillor Gallery?
Aye.
Councillor Lullam? You're on mute. Aye. Councillor Kez?
Aye.
Thank you. So item number 7, again, Councillor Cutler, call for public tenders water main rehabilitation by structural lining on different streets in the city of Westmount.
Madam Mayor, I move to authorize an expenditure in the amount of $3,358,391.59, including tax credits, for the water main rehabilitation by structural lining on different streets in the city of Westmount, tender number PUB 2020-028, and to award Senexon Environmental Services Inc. the contract for this purpose at its bid price for a maximum amount of $3,677,876.64, including taxes, the whole in conformity with the contractual documents of the call for tenders PUB 2020-028, and to allocate this expenditure in accordance with the financial information included in the decision-making file number 2020-0984.
Thank you. A seconder is Councillor Shammy. Any further comments on this?
So many of you may be aware of this already, but we tend to rehabilitate our water mains before we reconstruct roads. So typically that'll happen the year before, the summer before. That's not always the case, but a number of the projects that are within the scope of this will be in that situation. So we're looking at roads like Claremont, Lexington, Devon, Lorraine, Parkman Place, Mount Pleasant. Again, not all of those are going to be reconstructed in the future, but those are the ones that are scheduled right now to be the water mains to be rehabilitated.
Thank you.
Also, I'll also mention as well that that there are contingencies within these, given the uncertainty of the start dates. So for both these contracts, we have taken into account the possibility, of delayed starts and so on, and that's something that we're mindful of.
Thank you, and thank you to the engineering team for the planning of that in terms of being able to manage in an uncertain time. All in favor, Councillor Bostock? Aye. Cutler?
Aye.
Councillor Shammy?
Aye.
Councillor Peart?
Aye.
Councillor Breschke?
Aye.
Councillor Lulham?
Aye.
Sorry, Councillor Gallery?
Aye.
And Councillor Kez?
Aye.
Thank you. Moved. Item number 8, notice of motion bylaw 1556 concerning contract management. Councillor Kez.
I give notice of the intention to submit for adoption at a subsequent meeting by council by law number 1556 entitled Bylaw Concerning Contract Management. The object of this bylaw is for the city to fulfill its obligations under section 573.3.1.2 of the Cities and Towns Act, CQLRC-19, which provides that every municipality must adopt a bylaw on contract management, providing measures. 1, to promote compliance with any applicable anti-bid rigging legislation. 2, to ensure compliance with the Lobbying Transparency and Ethics Act, CQLR-CT-11.011, and the Code of Conduct for Lobbyists, CQLR-CT-11.011R2. 3, to prevent intimidation, influence peddling, or corruption. 4, aimed at preventing conflict of interest situations. 5, to prevent any other situation likely to compromise the impartiality and objectivity of the call for tenders process and the management of resulting contract. 6, to govern the making of decisions authorizing the modification of a contract. And 7, to ensure a fair rotation of potential contracting parties for contracts involving expenditures of $25,000 or more, but below the expenditure threshold, obliging a public call of tenders that may be awarded by mutual agreement.
Thank you. And a copy of the draft bylaw is tabled and available for public consultation.
Yeah, and this bylaw replaces the city's current contract management.
Thank you very much. Item number 9, the city clerk.
Thank you,
Adoption
Madam.
of bylaw 1553 to establish the conditions governing the supply of electricity.
Thank you. So I would like to report that all formalities required for dispensing with the reading of this bylaw have been observed, and that copies of the bylaw have been remitted to all members of council and are available for public reference. The object of this bylaw is to establish the conditions governing the supply of electricity. And the object of this bylaw is also to authorize the temporary suspension of late fees for unpaid electricity bills. This measure is intended to support Hydro Westmount customers during the pandemic period. This bylaw repeals bylaw 1538 to establish the conditions governing the supply of electricity. Now we would
Thank you. May I have the declaration by each member of council present that he or she has read the bylaw and that reading is waived thereof?
So declared.
So declared.
Declared.
So declared.
Thank you. Councillor Shammy?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I move that bylaw number 1553 entitled "A Bylaw to Establish the Conditions Governing the Supply of Electricity" be adopted.
Thank you. And a seconder on that? Councillor Gallery. And all in favor, Councillor Bostock? You're on mute.
Aye.
Councillor Cutler?
All right.
Councillor Shammy?
Aye.
Councillor Peart,
Aye.
Councillor Breshke,
Aye.
Councillor Gallery,
Aye.
Councillor Lallam,
Aye.
and Councillor Kez.
Aye.
Item number 10,
Sorry, there's a declaration there, just to add.
oh, sorry, I declare that bylaw 1553 entitled Bylaw to Establish the Conditions Governing the Supply of Electricity having been duly adopted, it is ordered that notices be given as required by law. Thank you. And then we move to item number 10, adoption bylaw 1554 to establish rates and certain conditions for the supply of electricity for the year 2020 and 2021. Again, the city clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would just like to report that all formalities required for dispensing with the reading of this bylaw have been observed, and that copies of the bylaw have been remitted to all members of council and are available for public reference. The object of this bylaw is to authorize the electricity rate for Hydro Westmount customers as of April 1st, 2020. The object of this bylaw is also to authorize the conditions respecting the supply of electricity for the year 2020 to 2021. The object of this bylaw is also to authorize the temporary suspension of late fees for unpaid electricity bills. This measure is intended to support Hydro Westmount customers during the pandemic period. This bylaw repealed bylaw 1537 to establish the rates and certain conditions for the supply of electricity for the year 2019-2020, and it's amending bylaw number 1543. Thank you. I'll hand it off back to you.
The declaration by each member of council present that he or she has read the bylaw and that reading is waived thereof.
So declared.
Thank you. Again, Councillor Shammy.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I move that bylaw number 1554, entitled a bylaw to establish the rates and certain conditions for the supply of electricity for the year 2020 to 2021, be adopted.
Thank you. And the seconder would be Councillor Lallam. Do you have any further comments on this, Councillor Shammy?
Oh, straightforward.
Thank you. Councillor Bostock.
Aye.
Councillor Cutler.
Aye.
Councillor Shammy.
Aye.
Councillor Peart.
Aye.
Councillor Breshke.
Aye.
Councillor Gallery.
Aye.
Councillor Lallam.
Aye.
And Councillor Kez.
Aye.
So I declare that bylaw 1554 entitled Bylaw to Establish Rates and Certain Conditions for the Supply of Electricity for the year 2021 having been duly adopted, it is ordered that notices be given as required by law. Item number 11, again, the city clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So here I would report once again that all formalities required for dispensing with the reading of this bylaw have been observed, and that copies of the bylaw have been remitted to all members of council and are available for public reference. The object of this bylaw is to postpone the date of the second payment of property taxes and compensation for municipal services to June 29th, 2020. The object of this bylaw is also to amend the interest rates and penalties. This measure is intended to support the City of Westmount taxpayers during this time of pandemic. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Est-ce que je peux avoir la déclaration de la part de chaque membre du conseil présent à l'effet qu'il ou elle a lu le règlement et que la lecture en est dispensée?
So declared.
Declared. Councillor Kez.
I move that bylaw 1555 entitled Bylaw to amend bylaw 1545 to impose and levy a tax and compensation for the 2020 fiscal year be adopted.
Thank you. I declare, I guess we need to do a vote on that, right?
Yeah.
A second. So a seconder is Councillor Shammy. And all in favor. And do you have any further comments on this, Councillor Kez? We know that.
Well, no, I mean, a notice of motion of this was given at the regular council sitting on April 6th. So, yeah, so it's pretty straightforward.
Yes, it gives a month extension because we have to pay our quote-part to the City of Montreal. And we know these are difficult times for residents, and we know a month is not that impactful for some people that have been really hit very hard by this, but we do have constraints, but they thank you for this. And all in favor, Councillor Bostock,
Aye.
Councillor Cutler,
Aye.
Councillor Shammy,
Aye.
Councillor Peart,
Aye.
Councillor Brushke,
Aye.
Councillor Gallery, Councillor Lulham,
Aye.
and Councillor Kez.
Aye.
I declare that bylaw number 1555, entitled Bylaw to Amend Bylaw 1545 to impose and levy a tax and compensation for the 2020 fiscal year having been duly adopted. It is ordered that notices be given as required by law. And that brings us to the end of the council meeting for tonight. Thank you.